everyone. I'm Ioannis, and that is
Deborah.
That is Deborah, and this is Conversations with Deborah Ioannis and the Nature of Belief. This series, Exploring the Nature of Belief, is where we talk about the things that people believe, because we believe that our beliefs are the legs that hold up the table that supports our map of the world. Not that complicated a metaphor, but anyway, it seems to work. And as the human brain, the mind, likes metaphors and icons better than anyway, that's another conversation for another time. This week, we're going to talk about, are there really universal laws like the law of attraction? And we know this, it's a belief. If you believe in things, they work. If you don't believe in things, they don't work. Maybe it's true, maybe that's not true. Anyway, your chance to comment is below. So you tell us what you believe. You might find this all complete tosh. Please tell us. And some people have, which we really appreciate. Someone says, I really like the talking voice, but I think it's a load of nonsense. We still love that comment. So we'll have that any day. So please like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff you need to do to keep us doing what we're doing, because we just want to serve you. And what do you think, Deborah? Are there universal laws like the law of attraction, the law of assumption, and others?
Yeah, well, this is your field of expertise, and you love this subject. So I'm sure I'm just on along for the ride today, but I will try and comment where I see a gap.
Well, what is nice is, because when we did delve into the Christian, a lot of the Christian and the born again Christian stuff and ministry, I know nothing about it. I've never read the Bible in completion. I couldn't tell you, but I listen to people like Neville Goddard, who's always quoting the scriptures. And find Neville fabulous. In fact, one of the laws is one of the ones that he's a great proponent of. But let's start. So the three key laws that I always refer to and use, and I think most people are more interested in, is the law of attraction, the law of assumption, and the law of reciprocity. And let's just go through those quickly. The law of attraction says that whatever you dwell on, you will attract. And that's behavioral, that's spiritual, that's everything. Whatever your mind dwells on, we are powerful co-creators. And God has already said that we're created in his image. And I think, Deborah, you said in our last podcast that in Genesis, he said, you are co-creators. So right. That is one of our gifts. That is one of our the attributes of the God gene. So we are co-creators. So if you spend a lot of time thinking about stuff, you will attract it to you. That's good and bad. So we're going to talk about that in a bit more detail in a minute when I come back to it, because I'm sure Deborah will ask what that all means. The law of assumption is a very, very much comes from maybe not the Christian faith, but Neville Goddard's interpretation of the faith. And he does refer to parables when he talks about it. And what is that? Is assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you assume that you have something already, and that can be an attribute or a material thing, if you feel like you have it and you have no doubt at all that you do have it, and you have faith that it will appear, you just can't hold it right this minute, but it's there, then it's a law of the universe that it will appear into your orbit. It'll appear in your world. It's just the way it is. And I have manifested all sorts of fabulous things, so I can testify that it certainly works. And the law of reciprocity is you've got to give to get. Get sounded like a funny accent there. You've got to give to get. As you give, and it's a karmic law of cause and effect, as you give gratitude, give love, give help, give assistance, give money, give whatever it is you give. If you give, then the balance is you will get. It's just how it is. You know yourself, people out there, that when you meet a taker who's always taking, they either come unstuck after a while, or you just go, I just don't want to spend any time with this person. They're a taker. And they could be energy vampires. They could just be taking your energy. It's not that they're always after material things. They're just always taking, always asking and drawing without giving anything back. And that's counter to the law of reciprocity. There are other laws, of course, which I can't even think off the top of my head what they all are, because I spend most of my time on these ones. But the law of abundance, the law of... there are universal laws. We live in an abundant universe. We live in an ever-expanding abundant universe, and we are a powerful creator in that whole scenario. So, any questions?
Okay,
Deborah?
so I'm educated. I wouldn't have put them into specific laws, but I now understand what you are, what they are. In terms of simplicity, I agree with you. I see where they are operational in my life, and we I've seen them in other people's lives as well. The whole point of you attract where you are or what you are is very powerful, because I've seen it in my own life. If you dwell on certain things, which are of a negative nature, you seem to attract that more of that into your life. If you can switch from the negative into the positive. And it's very interesting what you're saying, because I believe that, that you can create anything, and you do create everything. You create your own life. You live your own life according to what you've created in your mind. So for me, it's very important that that mind and heart becomes one. So they're in sync, but that you're living and creating from your heart center. And then, then suddenly things start to change. Unfortunately, most people, including myself, although I'm more conscious of not doing it, live from the ego, from the head space, the mind. We seem to create from there, and and then those laws certainly play out, and in not always a positive way. So yeah, interesting.
But that's why we need each other, and that's why we need podcasts like this. It is easy to fall into the trap of spending time thinking about what you don't have, and suddenly you're gonna get more of that. Deborah pulled me up early in our relationship. She used to pull me up, and it used to really irritate me.
Most of me irritated you.
No, but then I got it. She was trying to help me. She was trying to help me to see that what was happening was because I was dwelling on these things, what was going wrong. If you dwell on what's wrong and what you don't have, that's what you're attracting. Yeah. Do you get how that works? The law of attraction is eminently simple. We just don't know how simple it is. We end up thinking that complaining is going to get us what we want. Can you see the nonsense in the idea of all I do is spend my day saying what I don't have, what they've stolen from me, what I can't seem to get hold of, what I'm missing in my life, what's not going on, and expect it all to appear in my orbit. It just can't happen. You're pushing everything away. You're just putting up a wall to everything. It could be all sitting out there, just waiting for you to open a door, and it all comes flooding to you. Let me give you an example. My dream was, and I manifested one dream before, which was to live in the New South Wales countryside, in a big country cottage with wooden floorboards, a wood-burning stove, and be off the grid in that I wasn't paying any bills. Yeah, that I manifested and saw. So I saw it, I attracted it, I forgot about it. The law of attraction is so powerful, we're so powerful, that you don't have to think of it every day. I just assumed it would happen. And that was my law of assumption kicking in. I just went, that's going to happen. Guess what? I got a job on an ashram. I was given a a big country cottage in the countryside, surrounded by kangaroos and nature, that had a big wooden floor and had a wood burning stove. Now, I had to do some stuff. It doesn't just, like, it doesn't all land in your lap. I had to polish, I sort of put money in, and I got someone in, we sanded the floors and exposed how beautiful they were. Then I put 3 coats of this lovely natural varnish on them, and that was gorgeous. Then we had to get the flue fixed, and there was stuff to be done, but it ended up a beautiful, beautiful home and manifested. My latest one, I wanted to live on a Greek island. I was stuck in London. It was lockdown. I was stuck. All I saw was the Greek island. And suddenly, quite suddenly, multiple thousands of pounds appeared in my bank account.
Yeah.
It came from a pension I didn't even know I had. And I rang them up and they went, yeah, we owe you X thousand, which was quite a bit. And there you are. Off you go. And I bought the car and off I went. And here I am now. And anyway,
it works.
The law of attraction does work.
And
but you can't complain, and you can't be in the lack ever, and you can't ever doubt it works, because the moment you doubt it, you switch it off. You've just got to have folks, it's a weird, I know it's not weird, it's blind faith. It's that simple. You just have to, that's why it's a nature of belief. You just got to believe it works. I know it works, so I have no doubt. So I have faith in it all the time.
And
Deborah knows it works.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it all comes down to belief. If you don't believe that it works, it won't work for you. I remember
you won't have the faith.
Yeah, and I remember being in a really, really bad relationship and a marriage, and just everything going wrong. I attracted the wrong people, the wrong business opportunities, absolutely everything. Because I was in such a bad space, that is what I continuously created. And once I got out of that space and I was able to start to focus and start to create different things, I started to attract better or great business opportunities, a lot of positive people into my space. But it's a case of actually stepping back, understanding these laws, even if it's just in the simplified way that I do, and then starting to create and believing, seeing that thing fulfilled. I often do that. I will sit, it's almost like daydreaming. I'll go and sit on the grass and
but that's what it is.
And connect to source. And then for me, just have this conversation with, the fairies around me, or the butterfly or the birds. I listen to the birds, and then I start to imagine my world. What would Deborah want in her world? What does Deborah see for herself in the future? In what is Deborah creating within her mind, within her space? Where does she see herself? It doesn't matter where you find yourself presently, but if you can create in terms of seeing what you want to be, where you want to go, you can you shift yourself, you shift the vibration around you, you start to attract the positive. And it can be just as simple as going, like I said, go and sit on a rock, somewhere, go and sit on the beach, watch the sea, and start to daydream as you would as a child. Maybe you never dreamt as a child. A lot of us never had a good childhood. So it's now time to, you can give yourself permission to relive or to recapture a wonderful childhood. and you know, start by dreaming and creating and manifesting that perfect life that you dreamt as. I remember, oh, this is so funny, I'm going to laugh now. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. I didn't have a very happy childhood, and not terrible, but you know, there were issues. And I used to get lost in Barbara Cartland love stories.
Oh my God.
I
know why you never told me that.
And I remember collecting the covers of these books and thinking, oh, that all these girls found their prince and they had beautiful white wedding dresses. And I used to dream of this fairy tale white wedding, and I never got it. So I'm thinking now, imagine, I'm not going to manifest that. I'm definitely not at my age going to manifest a white wedding, but oh, I don't know why I shared that.
There you go, folks. It's official. It's off the cards. I think one interesting point is a lot of you are saying, well, then how come that this happens and this happens and this happens? You know, they didn't want to attract this stuff. They didn't want to attract that, and yet these bad things happen to people. I mean, we do have spiritual contracts. We are in some sort of karmic cycle that we've, through previous embodiments or our parents' karma or all sorts of things. There are other forces. It's not just that. We are super powerful and can overcome anything. But wealthy people, let me give you an example. Wealthy people expect to be wealthy. Their children have never not known money to be easy, to come to them easily. So they have that mindset that it's easy. And guess what? For them, it is easy. It just comes easily. The people that have been brought up with the money doesn't grow on trees, you know. You have to work hard if you want to get anything. You have to, all this, that's a mindset that is a self-limiting belief. You've just put a ceiling on your expectation. Interestingly, a disproportionate amount of successful entrepreneurs are dyslexic because they can't read that stuff.
Yes.
They can't read that stuff. So they just go and...
Some of the guys that I, or, you know, men that I admire in my life and that have been really, really successful are dyslexic.
Yeah. They don't see it. They just work it out in their own heads. They see their future and they make their future happen because they can't read the stuff that says you can't have it. They disenfranchise themselves from school because they couldn't access the curriculum and made the world they wanted. So the law of attraction has some specific things that you just need to put into play, and that is never ever think about what you don't want. Never, ever be impatient for what you want. It all comes to you lining up. Deborah said it earlier. You have to be lined up in vibration. That means honest, truthful, all business benefit, all those involved, always from purity and gratitude and service. Napoleon Hill said it. He would never enter any transaction that didn't benefit all parties involved. Just that attitude, it's that sort of attitude. And when they say lined up, it means a lined up where you are experiencing a sense of happiness and joy in your daily life. You may not have the castle you want to live in. Why would you want to live in a castle anyway? There's another story. But you may not yet have all the things you want. The car that is the SUV that has all the things you want, you may not have it. But if you're grateful for everything you have and see the joy in the simple, as Deborah perfectly put it, the simple things in life. If you simplify your life into what there's so many things to be grateful for, and there are, you once you line up, then in a vibrational sense, everything can go through the vortex, the door for you. The law of assumption, assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, is a very simple thing of just feeling like you have it already. There's a great technique which I'm going to share. This wasn't about how they work, but I'm just going to share this one with you because it's so simple and I've done it and it worked. After my family breakup, I was devastated and I had what I suppose it was technically a breakdown. I was signed off work and everything. I lost my kids. It was everything to me, and they were taken a long way from me. I had a lot of difficulties to see them, and there's all sorts of problems. And so for a good year or longer after that, I just had the non-Midas touch towards women. I must have developed a program that I saw relationships as painful and could take everything away from you. And I must have developed that, because I would hear myself. I had a lot of friends that ran singles events. I don't know how that happened, but I did. I had a couple of friends that ran really nice singles events. And I would hear myself say things, and I would just go home and go, that was just a deal-breaking statement you just made. What are you doing? What's going on here? So I analysed it. And I worked out that must be what happened, that I developed a program. So I then discovered Neville Goddard, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And so I went, okay, what does he say? He said, every night before you go to bed, feel as if you have the thing you want. And then as you drop off to sleep, your conscious mind drops into your unconscious mind, and your unconscious mind takes that message. So everyone, I did it, he makes it clear, you just have complete faith that it's going to work without any doubt. And I had nothing to lose. I was just pushing women away. And so I did it well.
And
3 months later, 3 months later, I couldn't move for them. They were everywhere. They were coming out. They were coming out.
Okay,
they were coming out the cupboards.
my finger again.
Sorry, darling. But I'm just saying.
When I do this finger, it means he needs to pause.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to have a quick pause, but all I can say is I did it faithfully as the instruction, which was every night before bed, feel as if you had the thing you wanted. And it wasn't instantaneous. It took a few months. That program had to be, maybe the whole universe has to alter a little bit because we're powerful. So to make those things happen, the opportunities, whatever it is, but just kept my faith. And anyway, it was, yeah, sorry, Deborah.
I wanted to say, in listening to you, how important it is when you want to manifest, or when you want to create that special in your life, or when you want to move to a place where you receive and and tap into the beauty of what there is for you. It's that gratitude. If you can just flow in gratitude. I remember I used to always, when I was in ministry, preach, and I used to see it often manifested in people. When you can be in a place where things are not that great in your life, but you look around and other people are receiving and manifesting their dreams, and you can rejoice in what they have and are receiving from a genuine place of heart, then it is so powerful, and it's such a powerful place to be in terms of checking self, going within. If you can rejoice when things are bad in your life, when things are not going well for you, when you can not say, why do they have and I don't have? When you can start to flow in the joy for others and their blessings, what they are receiving, then you are halfway, you are halfway to that victory, to attracting that positive into your life. And that is also a journey, and that is also character building, because I remember somebody saying that to me. I don't know if it was a pastor, who it was, somebody preached it. And I went inside and examined myself, and I realized that I had naturally flowed into the thing of rejoicing, even though everything was falling apart around me and in my life. I could rejoice at other people's receiving. And that is a beautiful place, and a beautiful place to check yourself and go within. because then you are halfway to creating and attracting all of those beautiful things into your life. And that is also part of being one and in unity consciousness, that no matter what or where you find yourself, flow in that love, in that gratitude, not only for yourself, but for the collective. And you will see how these laws work for you and change your reality, because we are one. And I just got that now, so I thought I needed to say that. No,
that's really important, because they don't work if you're not lined up.
Yeah.
They just don't work. I mean, in that case, it's funny because it happens in a lot of work. I've done a lot of training and life coaching and all that sort of stuff. And I was a therapist for many years. There's a time when, if you're in total despair, that's the way up. If you're really down, you want to go really up. If you kind of hit the rock bottom, that's when you in a sense, and you just give up and give yourself over to the higher, back to source. That's kind of when you start to climb up. But if you're constantly berating the fact that someone has more than you, as Deborah said, any envy, jealousy, spite, or any of that stuff, you're not in alignment. Whatever you want will not come to you. You're just not in the right place. You must be in love and it's the simple, as you said earlier about the simplicity of it, Deborah. It's love and gratitude.
Yeah,
that's what it is. If you're in love and gratitude all the time, if you rejoice in others' successes. I had a friend, and he used to drive me crazy. He used to rejoice in other people's failures. That used to make him so happy, and I just went, "You're not going to get anywhere, mate." Well,
yeah. And it's very simple. It's the language of the divine, love and gratitude. It's a frequency, it's a flow. And if you can connect to that, your life will flow into that love and gratitude. And it is the most beautiful thing to see somebody that vibrates love and gratitude. It reflects out of their eyes. It reflects out of who they are. And people just want to be around them. And the more we vibrate in love and gratitude, the more love and gratitude we send out, we connect with other individuals and share that energy. It changes the frequency of everybody around us. And
that's right.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I want to add is universal laws like law of attraction. We are meaning-making machines, and that means is we try and give meaning to everything that happens. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, everything happens for a reason." Well, I can't quite get what that reason is sometimes, but we do try and make meaning out of everything. The only meaning that is real is the fact that whatever it is, we did it.
Yeah.
We created the thing. We have to take full responsibility for everything we say and everything we do. Everything that happens to us, we do. I know that if you think you got hit by a bus, you didn't do that, but you were there. You decided to be on that road at that time. Who knows what program was running at that time? I know that's a weird example because people get caught in crossfire of gun battles and all sorts of things, and people get diseases and all this other, and a lot of you are going to go, hang on. But if you believe that you're responsible for everything that happens to you, life becomes a lot more simple. And you don't hold anyone else responsible, anyone else accountable, and you don't look for solutions outside yourself. You look within, you go inside, and there's your answers to most of your stuff. Now, I know other people have their law of attraction running, which may somehow impact on you. That can happen. So it's not a total given that you're responsible for everything. But generally, we try and give meaning to everything, and it's limited because we only have our limited beliefs. Our belief structure is the thing that we base our meaning on. Now, our belief structure, I know people that have got the weirdest beliefs. And if I allow them to give meaning to what happens in my life would be mental. Anyway, darling, you were going to say.
Yeah. So for me, it's a case of if you don't like your reality, change it. Very simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should end off there.
I think we've said enough.
I hope everybody got something from this, and that you go inside and check yourself.
Yes, and please, if you want to comment on what you've just heard and give us your ideas, we'd love to read them. So like, share, subscribe, and comment, and we promise we will read them and get back to you. Thank you very much. We're very grateful for your time and your energy in watching us. And as Deborah said, we hope you did get something from our little conversations with Deborah and Ioannis.
Yep, and I just want to say I love you all, sending you lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye.